Jnananjana-salakaya Chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Sri-Gurave Namo Vishnu-padaya Acharya Singharupine Srimad Bhakti-pragya Keshav-ritinamine Bhakti-matya Charitraya Swasvitanam Chakaline Jivaduke Sadatraya Srinam Premanayana Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Anandalilamaya Vigrahaya Himandi Divya Chari Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradaya Chaitanya Chandaya Narayanam Namaskritam Naram Chevo Narotamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhiraya Sadai Sevya Srimad Bhagavati Katha Yasya Shravanamatini Harishchittam Asya Haribo. So, first of all, I have pronounced millions of times the Lotus Feet of Gurudev, Om Shripad, Srimad, Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Also Lotus Feet of Param Gurudev, Nityalila Purush, Bhakti Pragyan, Keshav Goswami Maharaj. Also my Shiksha Gurus, Nityalila Purush, Bhaktivedanta, Chivakar Maharaj, Shiva Gaur Govinda Maharaj, Shivakran Bhaman Maharaj, Shiva Devadan Madhusudan Maharaj. All Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, thank you for coming. Final day of Bhagavat Saptaha. Thank God. Says a few. Alas, say even fewer. Because how can finish Bhagavat in 7 days? Therefore thinking, even another 7 days cannot even finish pastimes in Dwarka. What to speak of 11th canto and 12th canto. So today is a very auspicious day. Today is the Vyasa Puja, the appearance day of our Param Gurudev, Nityalila Purush Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Goswami. So we will try to glorify him, but we know it's impossible. So, how he served his Guru. If you hear, you become astonished. Then you can realize how if Gurudev is so great, then how great is he? Because he can produce such a disciple. What is the proof that Guru is real and bona fide Guru? He can make disciples like that. That is the proof. So, our Param Gurudev, he was born in Bangladesh. So many devotees from Bangladesh. That's also considered as Dvitiya Vrindavan, second Vrindavan. Mahaprabhu also went to that place, and so many of the devotees of Gauranga also came from there, especially the disciples of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So Param Gurudev, his mother was very strict, very strict. Even if her husband would eat something outside, when he comes, she would lock the door and not let him in. Therefore, a very religious woman. When she gave birth to Param Gurudev, then Bengali custom is from birth, they like to introduce the child to mustard oil. Therefore, especially you put mustard oil externally on the limbs of a child becomes very strong. So when the child was born, he was so effulgent, he was given the name Jonah. Jonah means glow worm. Glow worm. So when the mother put the baby down in the sun with mustard oil, one eagle thought it looked like a pakora. Took him and threw him in the sky. So all the villagers are running, chanting, Garud, Garud, please save this child. So the child with the blanket and the baby in the blanket, the eagle flew for quite a while. Then put the baby down in the middle of the pond. And how the child was saved? Underneath the pond was one dead tree. That branch was in the water and the baby was blessed. So miracle. Also an amazing thing, when the child was born, he would not speak. No matter how much they tried. Then one day one Muslim, it must be some Vaishnava, some connection. He came and said, "Mother, your child is not speaking because you have not given him Mahaprasad. As long as he has not taken Mahaprasad, this child will not speak anything." So then the mother, there was some Vaishnavas living in the village. When she went and asked them, "Please give some Mahaprasad," and the villagers were shocked. "You are from very high landlord family. How we can give our remnants to you?" But she insisted as soon as the child took the remnants, then he began to speak. Therefore these great personalities, generally it's very hard to understand someone's character at birth. Generally with Vaishnavas, their disappearance is more important than their appearance. Because only after they have disappeared you can understand who they were and what they did. But some very rare personalities are extraordinary from birth. Atimatya Charitraya, Swati Nanchadina Padma, Jiva Dukha Sadatraya, Srimad. Sri Maharaj wrote that. Pranam. I give pranam to that lion-like spiritual master, Acharya Keshava. Like a lion is very fierce to dogs, jackals, but very affectionate to her own cub. In the same way, Param was like a lion because he never tolerated even the slightest word against his good dog. Not even the slightest word. Then like a lion jumps, he would be like that. So even as a child, he had all good qualities like mercy for others. When Gurudev would tell this story, always he would weep. One time, we heard his mother was very strict, but the school children, they made one club. All the boys, instead of spending their pocket money on rubbish, toffees and things, they would put all their pocket money in one fund, and with that fund they would serve the sick people, the needy. So one day Param was very late. Vinod was his name, as a youth. Very late coming home, when his mother was very angry. So she was waiting with a big stick. And when he came, she grabbed him. "Where have you been?" Mixing with the low-class street urchins. "Tell me where you've been or I'll give you a beating." But he did not answer, because one should never glorify oneself. He remained silent. Again and again she threatened, "Where have you been? What have you been doing?" And very calmly he said, "Mother, in our village is one old woman. Her husband is dead. Her children have left her. She has no one. She has colic. And there was no one to do the night duty. Therefore I was doing that night duty alone, taking care of that woman." When Parambuddha's mother heard that, she began weeping and threw away her stick and embraced her. And she said, "I will never chastise you again." So from that day, she never did anything. Never chastised, in full faith she had in his character. Then he had to go to school, but all the teachers were so much influenced by Advaitavad, Mayavad, one type of atheism where say God has no form. If God has no form, then how can you serve him? How can you think of him? He cannot hear your prayers. What's the use in praying to him? Neither can he give you mercy because those qualities have no resting place. So those who say God has no form are one type of atheist. Therefore he was always arguing with the school teachers. Especially that time they would study Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Parambuddha would defeat them. Then he would say, "Will I give the class or you will give the class?" Then his aunt, who was a great Vaishnavi, her name was Sarojini Devi, the first female disciple of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That time Prabhupada had started giving initiation, but he would not, out of humility, he would not give the Guru Mantra. That's after. So he was not initiating women. So there when Sarojini Devi came and said, Prabhupada, you will not give Diksha mantra. Then he remained silent, and she said, what, Prabhupada, women are not jivas. Women are not human beings. Women cannot do bhakti. And Prabhupada defeated and gave her initiation. So you can imagine how strong she was. So when Vinod was 16 years old, she took him for his first darshan of Mayapur and the lotus feet of Sri Prabhupada. That time Prabhupada had no one. Just the disappearance of Thakur Bhaktivinoda in 1914. Appearance of Sri Gaurkishore, disappearance of Sri Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj also in the same. That time there was no one there. No devotee to ring the bell. Nothing. Then Prabhupada was saying, I will do parikrama of the whole globe. I will do Rath Yatra in London, Paris, New York. I will open up Gaudiya Maths in all the big cities of the world. Then Sarojini Devi was laughing. Gurudev, you are like, a beggar. A beggar goes, he begs half a kilo of rice. There was one beggar, he collected half a kilo of rice. He kept under his head. And as he was sleeping in the shade of a tree, he was thinking, half kilo of rice. Well, I could sell the half of it and buy a few chickens, baby chickens. Then I'll feed the rice to the baby chickens, bit by bit, they'll grow big. They'll have more babies. Then I'll soon have like hundreds of millions of chickens. I'll be selling them on the stock exchange here and there. Millions of dollars will pour in. I'll get good contracts with KFC, this and that. Then I'll buy a big house. And my wife will come. Then I'll chastise the servants. Fool, you have not cleaned my Mercedes. Go and do it now. Go and do it now. So the beggar was alone, sleeping with that half kilo of rice and moving his hands and legs like that. So she said, respectfully, Master, Gurudev, you are like that. You have no one, no disciples, no money, no temples, nothing. Then who will do all this? And Prabhupada pointed to the boy. That time he was very young, 16. Oh, he will do it. That time was Navavik down Parikram. So there he took Harinam. Afterwards he took Diksha in 1918 from Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. They left everything and joined the Gaudiya Math. That time Gaudiya Math is not like it is now. That time very, very poor. Even they could not afford rice. Imagine Bengalis not affording rice. That's like Eskimos not being able to afford rice. Very poor. Only a little bit of rice for Thakurji, and they would collect so many leaves from the trees and make sabjis. And they could not even afford plates. They would eat off the concrete. Imagine a little bit of rice and this leafy mass. Then Prabhupada came out. Oh, you boys don't have enough to eat. Then Prabhupada said, no, Prabhupada, we have so much. We are just practicing renunciation. So that type of seva, from the beginning he would do that type of seva. So, that time this Pushpa Samadhi of Thakur Bhaktivinoda Thakur had been captured by the eldest son of Sri Bhaktisiddhanta, the eldest son, brother of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that was Lalit Prasad. Sri Bhakti, Was it? What it may be, but Saraswati Thakur said, my brother is the greatest enemy of the Sankirtan. So somehow he had captured the samadhi of, the Pushpa Samadhi of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. So Param Gurudev, he could understand Guru was very unhappy with this. So he went there with many criminals, this and that. And they began outside the front gates swinging big sticks. Where is Lalit Prasad? And roaring. Where is Lalit Prasad? We'll skin him alive. And all the followers of Lalit Prasad became afraid. They jumped the fence and ran out the back door. Then Param Gurudev captured that Godrum Dweep, the bottom study of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. What seva he did. Also that time, Isodhyam, the birthplace of Mahaprabhu, that place was one big graveyard. for Muslims. Of course, these days, these type of topics are not very politically correct. But this is Guru Seva. What Guru wants, we'll have to do. 3 types of disciples. 1, the Guru never tells him what to do, he can understand and he does it without being told. 2nd one gets the order, Guru then follows. 3rd one gets the order but doesn't do it. Grudgingly does. And Guru knows it. The Guru says to the disciple, go on to the market, bring 10 rasgulla. Gurudev, I can't, it's raining. Get an umbrella. My shoes have holes in it. I have no money for a rickshaw. Back is hurting. So many excuses he makes, and finally, okay, I'm going. He does grudgingly, but he follows. And 4th class disciple, even though he gets the order, he refuses. The disciples like school. So Uttam disciple, what Guru wants, he knows and does. There was that birthplace of Mahabharata being captured by Muslims. They had so many gravestones here and there. So Param Gurudeva made a whole plan. So he'd been growing many trees in the back. Then one night with many devotees, what did he do? He came in the middle of the night and they dug up all those gravestones and threw them in the Ganga. Then they dug holes, put the big trees in the holes, transplanted all the flowers, made paths, some huts, everything in one night. So when the Muslims came in the morning, they saw the whole graveyard had been captured. There was no graveyard left. They went to the British and complained. These Hare Krishnas, they had captured our graveyard. Then the British came, they said, what nonsense you're talking? Obviously these trees have been here for years. They could destroy a graveyard in one night, so they beat the Muslims. So these Panamudali was such, these big seva for called. That time there was so much land that had been purchased by Thakur Bhaktivinoda. So that time people were not paying taxes. So Panamudali used to ride around on one black horse with a big hat like a landlord, one whip on his arm, one Sandipuri dhoti, one nice kota. And he would move everywhere like a king, collecting all the taxes for Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then he took the full headache of the management of the Gaudiya Math on his head, and Prabhupada could go everywhere and preach. So many people used to think he only knows management. They could not understand by Guru Seva one achieves everything. Gurudev always would tell the story. One follower of Shankaracharya, his name was Govinda. So when Shankaracharya was giving lecture, then there were hundreds and hundreds of sannyasis waiting for the Sanskrit lecture. But Shankaracharya was not speaking anything. Then they said again and again, Gurudev, start the lecture. Everyone is here except that foolish Govinda. But he doesn't know Sanskrit anyway, so just begin the lecture. He was on the other side of the river, washing cloth of his guru. Then he realized, I'm late for the lecture. He ran, he was so eager, he ran across the Ganga. And where he put his feet, one lotus came. So he ran and the lotus would take him across. When he came there for the lecture, he began singing wonderful, wonderful Sanskrit prayers that he'd made up himself. And everyone was astonished how the illiterate person can do like this. Then Shankaracharya said that is the result of seva to Guru. So one gets the result by serving Shankaracharya. Imagine the result one gets of serving a Rasik Vaishnava or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The result is unlimited. Therefore he always engaged himself in the service of the Guru, therefore automatically all spiritual truths revealed in his heart. How much he had love for his Guru. One time his mother wrote a letter to Prabhupada Saraswati Thakur. Oh Prabhupada, I am dying. Please you send my son to me one more time. I want to see the face of my son before I die. So Prabhupada called him in his room, Vinod, I am ordering you to go back to your mother. You see your mother one more time. Vinod did not say anything, he went and hid. When the afternoon came, Prabhupada asked the other Sevak, Paramananda, where is Vinod? Has he left? What is he doing? He went and saw Vinod was facing the wall and chanting Harinam. Just chanting. Then Prabhupada called him. Then Prabhupada chastised him, why you have not gone on? I gave you an order. Then Param Gurudev said, Gurudev, after millions and millions of lifetimes I have come to your lotus feet. And what will happen if I go home? My mother will say, Vinod, your brothers are not very expert in management. Who will take care of the family properties? You must marry and you must take care of everything. That time, Vinod Bihari said, that time I cannot say no, my mother's last order. I will have to marry, I will lose the chance for bhajan. My whole life will be spoiled. Then weeping, he fell at the feet of Prabhupada. Prabhupada could not speak even. He was also crying. He did not say anything. So very few people can understand how this act was the greatest act. Why he had so much affection for his Guru. Therefore, only one thing will pull us out of this world, that is that type of nishta, that type of faith. So he was always rendering different. He would never sleep outside the room of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That much he was intimate, can you imagine? He would never sleep in a different room. Even he would come night time, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Prabhupada would get up, open the door for him to sleep. That type of intimacy. So, he used to do, in the beginning the Gaudiya Math, our preaching was completely different. Before, Vaishnavas would go to kings, wealthy landholders, big industrialists, and they would preach especially to the kings, and the kings would patronize the preaching. They would support. But Saraswati Thakur did a completely different way. What would he do? He would take young, small boys, train them in Tattva Siddhanta. He would give them one box, small box, what do you call that thing? Piggy bank. With a very small hole. Is it? Only $1 note can fit in, no more. Like 8 paisa coin, no big coin, no big notes. Go and preach where? Preach in the train stations, bus stations, markets. And they will test your bhajan. Because when you go outside you meet all types of people. And they would ask, who are you? What are you doing? We are from Gaudiya Math, we are the servants of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Then preaching would start like that. Gadaga, Dwari, Moge, Diksha. Door to door preaching like that. In that way, the message of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to everyone. From the common poor persons up to the high persons, the educated persons. So one day Prabhupada was driving past in his car and he saw Vinod lying with a box, that little piggy bank under his head, and sleeping under the shade of the tree. When Prabhupada saw that, he began weeping. Oh, this boy Vinod, he comes from an aristocratic family. And for the service of Guru and Bhagavan, he is moving like this with a begging box and sleeping on the ground. When Prabhupada saw his servant, Prabhupada began weeping. So Guru Maharaj says, what type of mercy he got, we cannot imagine. So by service to Guru, he became expert in all philosophy. One time he was reading the commentary of Gaudiya Vedanta Charya Bala Vedibhusa on Vedanta. Then there was one very big scholar, Ananta Vasudeva. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's lectures were so philosophical, no one could understand them. Therefore, after class, everyone would go to this Ananta Vasudeva for explanation of the classes. There was one Englishman, he came to the class, Prabhupada gave a lecture and someone asked, how was the lecture? And he said, that was the greatest philosopher I ever met. Why? He could not understand a word he was saying. He couldn't understand anything, therefore that must be the greatest philosopher. So Ananta Vasudeva, so much great pundit, great scholar. Then he saw Vinod Brahmachari reading his Vedanta. He said, you have no right to read Vedanta, what you can understand? You were just like a manager, kitchen boy, something like that. Then Param Gurudev very softly, you can ask me any question. And then Ananta Vasudeva began examining him all the questions on Vedanta, and very easily he gave all the answers. And Ananta Vasudeva kept his mouth shut, gave the book back and did not say anything. So we should not think one can achieve the Lord by scholarship, but one achieves everything by Vaishnava Seva, by Vaishnava Sangha. Many times Saraswati Thakur wanted to give him sannyas. 3 times danda was made, cloth was dyed, everything was ready. 3 times. But each time everyone said, Prabhupada, don't give him sannyas. If he can take sannyas, he will manage everything. Everything will collapse. But for 3 times he was ready for sannyas from Prabhupada, but just turn it off. That would be easy. So that was Saraswati Thakur's preaching was also very revolutionary. He was boldly preaching against the upper sampradayas. Ao, Bao, Jati Gosai, Kata, Neb, Chuda Gosai, 14 upper sampradayas. Especially against the caste Goswamis, who made a business of selling mantras. Prabhupada preached against them so strongly they wanted to kill him. There at the time of Navarik Parikram, hundreds and hundreds of pilgrims were performing Navarik Parikram. They came to Prodamaya, and they attacked the pilgrims with bottles, acid, rocks, knives. They wanted to kill Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. That time everyone was running to save their bacon, save their lives. But Vinod did not run. He grabbed Prabhupada and pulled him into one house. Give me your cloth. Prabhupada was not willing to give his red sannyas cloth. But Vinod Brahmachari took by force. He put on his Gurudev's red cloth and gave his white cloth to his Gurudev. Because they looked the same also. You see the pictures. Looked how thin, glasses. So Prabhupada was saved and was taken away. Then Vinod went outside. Somehow he was rescued. So he always was ready to give his life, keep his life in the hands for service of his spiritual master. If like a loyal son automatically inherits all the wealth of the father, loyal disciple inherits all the bhajan of the guru. That is a fact. Let them keep the bhajan, let them keep the money, let them keep the bank accounts, they can have the temples. What is the real wealth of guru? That is his bhajan, his seva to Radha. So when Saraswati Thakur left this world, so much chaos came in Gaudiya. That time even some disciples wanted to burn the body of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Then Param Gurudev stood and said, that's alright, you can burn his body, but first you have to burn him. He stopped that. He arranged the Vidaha ceremony. Gurudev took him to Mayapur. But after the Samadhi ceremony was finished, no one knew where he was. For 3 or 4 days. Where he'd gone, what happened, nobody. Then Srila Bhaktivedanta Bhaman Maharaj, Sajan Sarat Brahmachari, he had one dream. Prabhupada came in his dream, because when the Guru leaves, they'd start offering the bowl, the prasad to his samadhi also. Prabhupada came in his dream and said, we know, he's behind that Radha Kund in Mayapur. He is behind there and you will find him. You take my prasad to him. So Pujapad Bhaman Maharaj, Satan Sevat Brahmachari went there. Param Gurudev thin like a stick, 3 days, 3 nights only weeping, Prabhupada. If a Guru Maharaj said, he could never say the name of his Gurudev. Prabhupada. We are saying very happy, Om Vishnu Padsi Bhaktivedanta Goswami. But he could never say the name Prabhupada. Prabhu, his voice would choke and he would weep. So much had affection. These days we do not see that type of affection. So after the disappearance of Srila Saraswati Thakur, so much chaos came in. The Gaudiya Math, those who consider themselves the best disciples of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, they were the ones who became completely against his movement and his teachings. It is Ananta Vasudev. Who else? Ananta Vasudev, 3 of them. He's one of them also. And I cannot remember. These 3 who are considered very dear, they became number 1 against. There was so much fighting was there, even murder, theft, Param Gurudev left with his bead bag, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Even though he was managing all the properties, he left with nothing except his big bag and conception from his guru. Remember when I first came to Gurudev, one lady came also from Bhubaneswar, and she was showing Gurudev things she got from the Samadhi of Srila Gopinath. Some stones, and this cloth. And I remember Gurudev said very nicely, when my Gurudev left, I never took anything, I just took his moods. I never took anything. So then he went to the other side of the Ganga to Navadvip and began his Gaudiya Vedanta Samiti and began preaching from there. That time gradually so many senior God brothers also came. 30 or 40, but they had no money, nothing, they were living in one rented house. One time Pujapad Srila Chinmay Maharaj took me for a walk, he showed me that house. He said, before we used to live here. So 30, 40 devotees, there was no money, nothing. Somehow living. Then one day, one God brother of Param Gurudev came. Very fat. His name was Mahan Makati or something. He liked very good prasad. But Gaudiya Mata Kadasi, what is Gaudiya Mata Kadasi? Potatoes. That time Param Gurudev was very much in anxiety. He had so much affection for his God brother, so much. So when his God brother came, he was thinking how I can feed him, how I can feed him. Then there was one sparrow flying here and there. And sparrow dropped something from his beak. What was that? A little package of money with half a rupee in it. That time Param Gurudev heard the clink, he looked and opened and began weeping. Oh, Bhagavan has supplied lunch. Then after lunch, one God brother from Burma, notice I think, I cannot remember his name, he sent 100 rupees by mail order. When Param Gurudev got that, he began dancing. Now we can begin to preach. So he preached, especially so much, he preached in Bengal, Assam. He made so many disciples. All, as Gurudev said about Param Gurudev had not have come, all the books of Bhaktivinoda Thakur would have wrought it, no one would have printed. The parikaras would have completely stopped. The preaching movement of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would have also ground to a complete halt unless he gave that. So much he did. Wonderful Guru Seva. Also he was very, very rusty. Very rusty. If you read his Mangalati, more than read, if you ever go to Mangalati and sing that Mangalati, then you can understand how much is inside his heart. As if he churned the essence of the whole of Govinda Lilamrit, Ananda Vrindavan Champa, and put that essence in his Mangalati. Mangala Si Guru Gaura Mangala Murati, Mangala Si Radha Krishna Vivara Kumati. You read that very sweet. Tomorrow, if you read that Mangalati, you can understand what is there inside. Also, he wrote other very rustic. Another Gaudiya monk stole that Mangalati and crossed his name out and put his own name. So when Param Gurudev heard that, he laughed. Anyhow, they are using my Mangalati. Very good people. When he heard that, then they became ashamed of it. They gave it back. So he was very rustic. He read especially his Radha Vinod, Vihari Tapastika. And you can understand how much he deeply understood the tattva of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radha Krishna. When Radha Krishna combined, that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If you read nicely that Vinod Vihari Tapastika, you can understand. Also, when he was installing the deities, there were 3 steps going up to from the platform up to the feet of the deities. First step was black. Second was golden. And third step was red. So Gurudev said he was there that time. Then Sanatana Guru, after sannyas became Bhaktivedanta Muni Maharaj, he asked, why you have put those 3 colors there? What is the meaning? And Paru became very deep. The first black represents Sri Krishna, the personified Murti of Rasaraj, the taste of all mellows. The second step represents Madanakya Bhav Mahi Srimati Radhika. And he stopped and they asked, what is the third step? Then his voice became choked, could not speak. Oh, that is the one maidservant who's always giving vinod, always giving happiness to Radharani. Then he could not speak, he became absorbed in deep meditation. That time he indicated what is his spiritual form? Vinod Manjari. She is always giving happiness to the divine couple. She is very, very dear to Radhika. He took sannyas from Bhakti Siddhanta, from Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. When he went there and asked for sannyas, because he joined the Gaudiya Math many years before Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj. Something like 15 years before. So when he asked for sannyas from Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Maharaj, Srila Maharaj laughed. Oh, Vinoda, you give me any order I must give, even the order to give you sannyas. I will follow that. Then he got the name Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesav Maharaj. And he began preaching everywhere. So successful. Especially he made very great sannyasis. Especially Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj. That time his name was Abhay Charanaravinda. Param Gurudeva had so much affection for him, so much deep affection. Buddha said when he first joined the Mad in 48, he had his first darshan of Srila Bhaktivedanta Abhay Charanaravinda. He was in white cloth, Grihastha. He said, my Gurudev was giving lecture, and one Grihastha came in with white cloth. Param Gurudev stood up, did pranam, please sit here. And Gurudev was thinking, why my Gurudev is giving so much respect to this Grihastha? Who is he? And he asked, Gurudev, who is this? That is my very dear God brother, Sri Abhay Charanaravinda. You should serve him well. So the indication is clear. When Abhay Charanaravinda, he left home, he left everything. He came to Mathura and then he began living with Gurudev in case of Gaudiya Math. When Param Gurudev came there, then Gurudev was saying, why you are not giving him sannyas? Without sannyas you cannot preach, you cannot do anything. That was your Gurudev's desire, you take sannyas. Therefore on the day of Vishwarup, the full moon, in the middle of Chaturmas, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesav Goswami Maharaj gave sannyas to Abhay Charanaravinda, who became Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj. So Gurudev gave all his titles and then Bhakti Vedanta. In 1968 he left this world. But he did not leave this world, he stayed in this world in the form of three persons. Srila Bhaktivedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj, Sri Bhaktivedanta Srikant Goswami Maharaj, Sri Bhaktivedanta Bhaman Goswami Maharaj. So today we remember that great Mahapurush. He is our grandfather. Not Gopanandini's great-grandfather. Prabhupada said the grandfather is sometimes even more kind than the father. So we pray for his mercy. We can always be strong in the line of devotion. We can always remain in the shelter of the followers of Sri Rupa Goswami. Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesav Goswami Maharaj. So normally we'd spend the whole day. This morning we talked about him a little. But we have to finish that. What is that? We have to finish this Bhagavat Saptaha, so the happiness of our Srila Bhakti Pragyan Kesav Goswami Maharaj. We try to finish this 10th, 11th, 12th canto in 1 hour. That will not be possible. So, some big darshan on this, some indication. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapurana ki Jai Jai Sri Radhe. So last night we heard Ras Leela. This morning we discussed Krishna's leaving Mathura, Vrindavan, going to Mathura. How he killed Kams, Charanmustik, Toshal, Sal, the 8 brothers of Kamsa, as well as numerous assorted persons here and there. Why Krishna was then took initiation, then he was sent to Ujjain. All those things we discussed. 17 years he remained in Mathura, but he never married. Because how Krishna can forget the gopis? And this morning we discussed deeply that Uddhav Sandesh, Krishna lived in Mathura, but he never forgot Vrindavan. So after 17 years he never married because he could not forget the sweetness of Radharani. He could not forget the Brajvasi. But there was one girl, her name was Rukmini. Sometimes people ask how we can love Krishna, we have never met Krishna. The Guru Maharaj says we have to do like Rukmini. Rukmini was a small girl and her father was Mulukma. And the great Saint Narad Muni would always come to her house, her palace, and he would speak Harikatha to her father. So Rukmini was only a small girl. So when she heard of Krishna's names, forms, qualities and pastimes, she thought, I will marry only Krishna, no one else. But she never met him, only hearing about him. So her father also wanted to marry her to Krishna, but Rukmini's brother, Rukmada, he hated Krishna like anything. Why? Because his best friend was Shishupal. Therefore he said, I will never marry my sister to Krishna, I will marry him to my friend Shishupal. So Shishupal deserves a mention, great personality. He achieved perfection by being completely envious of Krishna. When he was born, he was a horrible beast of a child, 4 arms, 3 eyes. The mother wanted to get rid of him, but a voice came, no. Whoever holds this child and causes the deformities to go away, that person also be the cause of the death of your child. So the mother was going, putting little Frankenstein on the lap of everyone. But when she put the child on the lap of Krishna, then the deformities went away. The mother became very happy and very sad. Krishna had saved my child. But Krishna would be the cause of the death of my child. If I'm not mistaken, Shishupal's mother was Krishna's auntie. So on the strength of that relationship, she said, please, whatever offenses my child makes to you, please forgive him. And Krishna promised, I will forgive him 100 times. Therefore Shishupal, he committed unlimited offenses to Krishna. But he was very careful never to make more than 100. He would wake up, blaspheme Krishna, 20 or 30 abuses. Then he would brush his teeth. Then he would go back to 0. Then he would blaspheme Krishna for another 45 minutes. Then he'd take breakfast. So he never actually made 100 offenses in a row. But he never thought about anyone else, never talked about anyone else except Krishna. So he easily achieved perfection. So the night before her wedding, the Rukmini was very distressed. I will marry the demon Shishupal. Alas, alas. Therefore she wrote one letter and gave in the hand of one bride. Sri Rukmini Vacha Shutva Muvana Sundara Shrinvatante Nirvisakan Vivayad Harito Angatapam Rupam Drisam Dusnimatam Akilata Labdam Tvaya Chuta Vishati Chitam Apatatamne. O Krishna, who is that girl who would ever think of marrying a bag of stool called a husband? My ears have tasted the beauty of your names, forms, qualities and pastimes. Therefore, most beautiful one, you have become the possession of my heart. I have fixed my shameless mind upon you. Kotwa Makundo Mahati Kulasila Rupa Vidyavayo Davanadamabir Atmaturyam. Oh Krishna, you are only equal to yourself in forms of beauty, in terms of beauty, birth, education, qualities, knowledge, youthfulness, wealth, and influence. Who is equal to Krishna? Only Krishna is equal to Krishna. Therefore, is there any woman in this world who would ever think of marrying someone else except for you? Therefore, I have chosen you as my husband. And you are like a lion, And Shishupala is like a dog. The dog should never steal what is meant for the lion. The lion should take what is meant for the lion. Oh Krishna, I cannot achieve you. I will give up this body by performing fast and austerities. I will take birth again. And in that birth I will also perform fasts and austerities. If I do not achieve you, I will give up that body and take birth again. I will take birth millions and millions of times until I achieve you. Rukmini wrote all these things. Therefore Gurudev said all his daughters should be as bold as Rukmini. She wrote and gave that in the hand of one Brahmin. That Brahmin went to see Krishna in Dwarka. So when Krishna saw that Brahmin, when Krishna became very happy, he did pranams, put that Brahmin on his throne, worshipped him, washed his feet, drank the water, massaged his legs, fed him, and after the Brahmin had taken rest, Krishna asked, "Oh Brahmin, are you happy? Are you self-satisfied? Are your senses under control?" Because a person who controls his senses and is self-satisfied, only that person is happy in this world. The Brahmin who cannot control his senses, he may wander the 14 worlds, but he will still never be happy. "Is there anything you want from me? Can I serve you?" The Brahmin very happy. Krishna has such sweet behavior. He said, he gave Rukmini's letter. And Krishna said, as Rukmini is thinking of me day and night, I also can only think of Rukmini day and night. I cannot sleep. Therefore Krishna was so anxious to save Rukmini from committing suicide. He went there without telling Balaram. So much anxious to go with the Brahman on the back of the child. So Rukmini also spent that night. That night seemed like millions of years. The Brahman has not come. Perhaps Krishna has seen some fault in me. Therefore he would not accept me. But when the Brahman came, then by looking at the Brahman, Rukmini could understand, yes, he is very happy. Why he's not happy? He just seen the Supreme Lord face to face. So Rukmini could understand Krishna has accepted. Therefore she became very happy. There was one rule: Rukmini would go to the goddess Kamakya, one form of Yogamaya. That was the family tradition. So when she went in the temple, she prayed. You can think, Yogamaya, please, I want Krishna as my husband. Then Devi said, yes, it must be so. All the citizens were also praying, whatever good things we have, we give to Rukmini, that Krishna may accept her hand in marriage. And when Rukmini came out of the temple, she exhibited her full beauty for Krishna. The kings who were all envious of Krishna, when they saw Rukmini's beauty, they could not understand she is the internal potency. They could only see her as the external potency, Maya. So when they saw her, they became so full of lust, they fell unconscious. Imagine. Krishna had also come. And there were many demons watching him. Krishna showed his invitation card. I've been invited also. And they could not check him. And when Rukmini came out of the palace, then Krishna took her hand and put her on the child and drew. And all the soldiers were stunned. The soldiers were saying, what happened? Why didn't you do anything? The soldiers were talking. Did you see his hand? You've never seen such a hand. Those nails were like crystals. That hand was like a lotus, so soft, so beautiful. Another soldier said, I didn't see any hand. Did you see his feet? Perfectly formed. How he can walk on the ground with those soft feet. Another soldier saying, I didn't see it. Did you see his nose? Did you see his hair? Did you see his cheeks? Did you see his neck? Did you see... Every part of Krishna's body is completely and beautifully formed. Sometimes, when Krishna left Vrindavan and the gopis were talking, oh Radhe, last night I had a dream of Krishna. So sweet was his form. Radharani said, I never saw his form. I never saw the whole Krishna. When I see his feet, my mind could not be taken off his feet. to another part of his body. So much attractive, his feet, his hands, his thighs, his arms. Radharani said, you are very lucky, Saki. You saw the whole form of Krishna. I never saw the whole form of Krishna. I could not see. Such is his beauty. So the soldiers were discussing the beauty of Krishna. Then one soldier said, well, I didn't say anything, but you guys weren't doing anything. I wasn't going to step out alone. And Krishna took Rukmini and went off. So Balaram had come behind. There was a huge fight between the demonic forces of Shipal, Jarasandha, Dantavakra, and the forces of Vrishnis under charge of Balaram. They smashed all the demons. Shishupal was also very sad. But who comforted him? Jarasandha. Oh brother, that's the rules of this world. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I lost 17 times to Krishna, but last time I won. This is fatal. So Shishupal was pacified. But Rukmini's brother was never pacified. Very angrily he chased Rukmini and began abusing Krishna. What did he say? Oh Krishna, you low-class coward boy. Who you think you are to touch my sister? You are just like a crow who steals the pot of ghee which is meant for the yogi. Give her back, give her back. Oh Krishna, you wicked-minded coward boy, infatuated with pride, you have violently attacked my sister. Today I will remove your pride with my sharp arrows. So, the goddess of fortune cannot tolerate these words, therefore another meaning came out of the mouth of Rukmini. I am very proud of my own false ego and fighting ability. But today you will remove my pride by your sharp arrows. O Krishna, who is very attractive and the best of men. Thus, Krishna, you are just like a crow carrying off my sister. Like a crow steals the ghee meant for the yogi, you are stealing my sister and taking her away. Therefore, stop where you are this very day. I will lay you on the ground with my arrows. You fool, you deceiver, you cheater in your battle, how dare you steal my sister? But Saraswati made another meaning came out. Oh Krishna, my sister belongs to you. She is your own potency. Therefore you can take her wherever you want. I am like a crow because I am trying to steal what is meant for you and my own enjoyment. Therefore, I know very soon you will lie with my sister on one bed. There is nothing that I can do about it. So very funny. Read Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary. So Rukma, full of anger, he attacked Krishna, and Krishna defeated him completely, and Krishna was about to kill him, and Rukmini began weeping. And Krishna's Rukmini. And Balaram said, do not kill your brother-in-law on your day of your marriage. This is very inauspicious. Therefore Krishna did not kill him, but Krishna gave him a haircut. Left one piece here, one piece here, one piece here, with his sword. He was made him like a clown and left him as he was. And after that same Rukma was killed by Balaram. And he was abusing Balaram. Balaram mashed him with his club. Therefore that was the marriage of Rukmini and Shri Krishna. Rukmini Dwakadish Maharaj ki jai, Radha Govinda Ju ki jai. Therefore Krishna married 16,108 queens. 107 more queens. Most astonishing. One time Narad Muni wished to see how Krishna, being in one form, could marry 16,108 women. Therefore Narad went to Dwarka. And in order to see what was happening, Narad went in the palace of Rukmini. That time Krishna was there sitting doing something with Rukmini. Krishna stood up, welcomed him, put him on his throne, worshipped him. Oh Narad, how I can serve you? But Narad was too stunned, he came out and went into another palace. And there in another palace he saw Krishna also doing something, having lunch. When he saw Krishna, when Krishna saw Narad, he took him, put him on his throne, bowed to him. Oh Narad, how he can serve you? And Narad was astonished. Then Narad Muni went in, simultaneously Narad Muni expanded himself, and Narad Muni entered 16,108 palaces at the same time. And what did Narad see? 16,108 Krishnas doing 16,108 different activities. In one palace, it was midnight, Krishna was sleeping. Even the times were different. Another palace, Krishna was taking breakfast. Another palace, Krishna was playing chess. Another palace, Krishna was practicing sword fighting. Another palace, he was practicing singing. Another palace, he was doing meditation. Another one, he was giving charity. Another one, Krishna was playing with children. 16,108 Krishnas doing 16,108 different activities, 16,108 different times of the day. That is the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Therefore Narad became so much stunned when he saw that. So much of this food. One time Narad Muni, he came, he had one parijat flower that he had got from heaven. That time Krishna was with all queens together. And Krishna was always telling each queen, Rukmini, I love you the best. Satyabhama, I love you the best. Oh, Jambavati, I love you the best. Oh, Nandajit, I love you the best. Lakshmana, I love you the best. All queens thought Krishna loves me more than anyone. And one day when all queens were together, Narad Muni came with this flower. Oh Krishna, give this flower to your favorite wife. Narad Muni was making some trouble. If your house is very peaceful, just invite Narad Muni over for lunch. And all queens thought Krishna would give them. Then Krishna began to perspire. I will not do now, I will do later. No, now you have to do, I am going, you have to do now. So Krishna was trapped, he closed his eyes and gave to Rukmini. Immediately Satyabhama became angry. She went and all the clothing and ornaments had been given to her by Krishna. She took them off and threw them in the corner of the room and began lying on the floor. When Krishna came, he touched Satyabhama, and Satyabhama, like you touch a snake, don't touch me, go away. You are a cheater, I want nothing to do with you. Then Krishna, very expert, has too much practice in Braj, how to break the man of young ladies. Therefore the man of Satyabhama is not very difficult for Krishna to break. The man of the gopis, very hard. Krishna said, oh Satyabhama, why are you so angry? I only gave one flower to Rukmini, but to you I will give a whole parijat tree. Then Satyabhama became happy. They went to the heavenly planets. And there Krishna asked, please give us one tree. In Nandakanan gardens of the heavenly planets, those gardens have millions of trees. And whatever form, whatever you want, when you go to that tree takes that form. So what happened? Who do we want? Tell the truth, Radha Priya. Gurudev, right? Sure. So those trees can fulfill any desire. Krishna asked for one tree. But Indra would not give, so much pride. I actually said Indra was willing to give. But Sachi, his wife, said, why are you giving? He's a guest, we have to give. And Sachi said, if he asked for me, would you give me also? And Indra thinking, no, I would not give. Then why are you giving him? And the demigods are so much foolish. Indra had just been defeated by Krishna when he lifted Govardhan. Indra forgot. Such is the deluding power of the heavenly planets. So much enjoyment. So Krishna defeated all the demigods and by force took the parijat tree. And he planted it in the courtyard of Satyabhama. Satyabhama was so proud, she invited all the other queens to the planting ceremony. Even Rukmini. But Rukmini is so much submissive to Krishna, she agreed, and she went also. One time Rukmini was fanning Sri Krishna. Then Krishna was thinking, long time I not fought with any lady. It's not like Vrindavan. Even Krishna has no fault, gopis fighting with him, called Man. Sometimes Krishna is doing faulty things and gopis have a right to be angry. But sometimes Krishna is not doing anything wrong, but some fight comes. One time Radhika asked, Krishna, describe my face. How is my face? And Krishna said, Radha, your face is like the moon. Immediately Radharani became angry. Oh, moon? Why moon? You know, every day the moon goes blacker, blacker, blacker. Every day the moon decreases. My beauty is like that. Oh, I know why moon, because moon has many spots, many faults. Oh, I know why moon, my face reminds you of Chandravali. And Radharani angry and going away. Krishna thinking, what did I say? I did not say anything. So this is one happiness, one taste. You can only do man with someone who loves you millions of times, will never give you up. Isn't it? Imagine we saw some guy on Venice boardwalk and we went, some girl, I will never see you again, I don't want to see your face. She can't, big deal, loser. Understand? You can only do man with someone who has very, very thick relationship, who you know will never give you up. That man is possible. So the point was, what was the point? Krishna wanted to taste that. Because in Dwarka they always worship Krishna with these feelings of reverence, submission. And Krishna wants to taste that superior mood. But one day Krishna said, Rukmini, I think you married me, you made a big mistake. Because I'm a beggar. I am worshipped by fools. I have nothing, no material possessions. Actually, out of fear of the other kings, I now hide myself in this fort of Dwarka. You and me are not equal. Marriage should be between equals. Who am I, a coward boy? And who are you? The princess, the daughter of King Rukmanda. You made a big mistake when you married me, Rukmini. Therefore, if you like, I am giving you permission. You may go and marry someone else. As soon as Rukmini heard these words, she became stunned. She was fanning Krishna. Even though Rukmini had millions of maidservants, she would personally fan Krishna, serve him. When she heard Krishna's joking words, she could not understand that was a joke. Very seriously. If someone doesn't want to see you, that's easy. Just go to another city, another country. But the Supreme Lord doesn't want to see you. Where are you going to go? Rukmini became full of fear. Krishna is giving me up. He is rejecting me. The chama in her hand that she was fanning Krishna fell from her hand. Hey. She fell unconscious, like a banana tree cut by a storm. Krishna thought, my God, I was only joking. Look what happened. So much he has attachment to me. Therefore Krishna manifested a four-handed form. With two hands he caught Rukmini, and the other two hands he was like fanning her. When Rukmini came conscious, then she gave a wonderful answer. Krishna, what you have said is no joke. Really? How can you and me be equal? We are not equal. You are the Supreme Lord, possessor of unlimited opulence. And who am I? A foolish woman who is worshipped by materialistic persons. Rukmini, in her humility, she is identifying herself with the external energy. Wow. So much higher. You and me are not equal. You are the Supreme Lord, I am just your external energy. And really, what you said is true, Krishna, you have nothing. Right? Because there is nothing else except you. Everything you see in this creation is Krishna himself. Therefore, what does Krishna own? Nothing, because there's nothing except himself. Understand how clever Rukmini's answer. Read detail and very quickly. Rukmini said, what you said is true. Really, Krishna, you are a beggar. You have no material possessions. Why? Because there is nothing else except you. And your nature is you always completely give everything you have to the devotees. Therefore you possess nothing. Your devotees seem like beggars. Why? Because they are not interested in anything else except you. Therefore they are the topmost of liberated Paramahamsas. Really, out of fear of the material senses, you hide in the courtyard of everyone's heart. Like Krishna said, I am out of fear of the kings, I am living in Dwarka, which is surrounded by the ocean. Rukmini said, this is true also. Out of aversion for the material sense gratification of the material senses, you hide inside the heart of everyone, so no one can find you. Rukmini gave wonderful answers to all questions. When Krishna heard Rukmini's words, he became completely defeated. Oh, Rukmini, I am always controlled by your submission. 10th canto Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran. Very sorry. Huh? So much we spoke Krishna's Chadra Leela, Ras Leela that we cannot finish pastimes in Dwarka. For that we need another 7 days at least. So Krishna remained in Dwarka for 100 years. Then one day Lord Rama, the Shiva, the Deva saying, "Oh Krishna, the cause of your appearance is complete." What is one cause? Padatanaya sadhanam vinasaya tadushkrikam dharma samstapayata mudayam kirudayude. To destroy the demons and to protect the sadhus, I manifest in every age. Oh Krishna, the burden of the earth has been removed. You can finish your pastimes. Then how Krishna finished his pastimes? This is very astonishing thing. So we'll hear this and also the disappearance of Parikshit because it's the same thing. This is called Mohini Lila. Very bewildering for demonic persons. How Krishna left? A very strange thing. Therefore, how do you remove a thorn? Only by another thorn. How Krishna removed himself? Only by himself. Therefore, Krishna thought, I killed so many millions of demons, but my devotees, the Vrishnis, they are also innumerable and very powerful. If I leave this world, without me they will become mad. And like a maddened elephant tramples everything, in my separation they will destroy the creation. How to take me away as long as them, as well as them. Therefore one very special lila is there. One day, the Vrishnis, headed by Samba, Krishna's son, from Rukmini, Pradyumna, his son, Anirudh, Aniruddha's son, Samba, if I'm not mistaken. Samba dressed himself as a woman and with veil over his face. No one could understand this is a boy or a girl. That time in Dwarka were many powerful sadhus like Durvasa, Vishwamitra, Vyas, Vyal, so many. Parshuram, and others. So the boys of Krishna's dynasty, they took Samba, who was disguised as a woman with one pillow here, and they said, Sadhu, Sadhu, you know everything, you sadhus, past, present, future. Nothing is unknown to you. Please tell us whether this beautiful doe-eyed girl will give birth to a boy or to a girl. Sometimes people think, oh, sadhus don't really know about this world, they only know about Hare Krishna or something. No, sadhus know everything. So, when they heard this was a great insult. Now it was there also. Durvasa Maharaj became very angry, his eyes became red. Yes, she will not give birth to a boy or to a girl. She will give birth to a club which will destroy your whole dynasty. He became full of fear. He gave birth to a club. Don't ask me how. Don't think about it too much either. That club had a wooden handle and an iron head. When Ugrasen heard, he became very afraid. The sadhus have cursed us, we are finished. Therefore he did not tell Krishna. They burned the club, ground it into ashes. But there was one piece that could not be destroyed. They threw that into the ocean. All the iron filings went to the bottom of the ocean, and they were gradually pushed to the shore at the holy place called Prabhas Kshetra. Those iron filings grew into the form of cane, like sugar cane or something, and thick and hard as thunderbolt because empowered by the curse of the sadhus. And that one piece that was swallowed by a fish, that fish was caught by a fisherman, a hunter. He cut it open, he sharpened the piece into an arrowhead, and he went hunting. Meanwhile in Prabhas, many inauspicious signs were there in Dwarka. When Krishna said, we must all go to a holy place called Prabhas Kshetra. We should give charity, perform yajna there, and maybe these inauspicious symptoms would go. Krishna had full power to remove this curse, but he did not. Therefore all the The women and children and stuff, they were left behind in Dwarka, and all the young soldiers, men, everyone, the whole dynasty of Krishna, 656 million, went there for Prabhas. To show the fault of intoxication, how intoxication destroys all intelligence. Krishna arranged the Christians to start drinking. They began drinking rice wine. There were some survivors of the Mahabharata war, including Arjuna's disciple, Saptaha. He began abusing, who was he abusing? Kritavarma, something. That turned into a fight, they began fighting. Arjuna came there, he slew Buraswat, they began war, World War III. All the Puras, because they were, the Brishnis, because they were drunk, began fighting amongst one another. The Brishnis began fighting with the Bhojas, the Andakas, all the different clans. In 1 hour and 46 minutes, all 656 million of them were killed. When they ran out of weapons, they took those canes. Those canes were hard as thunderbolt from the curse of the sadhus, and they killed all each other very, very quickly. Even they tried to kill Krishna and Balaram, so much they were bad. Thus, like a thorn is used to remove another thorn, Krishna used his own devotees to remove his own devotees. Otherwise, who can defeat the devotees except devotees? Krishna, Balaram, Uddhav, and Daruka. Only 4 survivors out of 656 million. Krishna instructed Uddhav just before he left this world, that is 11th canto. If you read 11th canto, it is like an ocean. It is considered to be the forehead of Krishna, because there Krishna gives all knowledge on the process to achieve. 10th canto describes the goal, but the 11th canto describes the process to achieve the goal. When Krishna sent Uddhav, you go to Vidura. Uddhav went there and gave all that same knowledge to Vidura and Acharya. The conversation was in 3rd canto. Balaram disappeared into himself and went back to the spiritual world to rage. Only Krishna was remaining. There was only one way that Krishna, of course Krishna can never be killed. Being the Supreme Lord with a spiritual body helps. But Krishna wants to bewilder the demons also. Therefore he performs this pastime. One time Gurudev was at Rupa Goswami's Samadhi. He said, what is here in the Samadhi? And he said, only cheating. Does Rupa Goswami die? Rupa Goswami leaves his body. This is only cheating. What is Gurudev's Samadhi? Well, Gurudev becomes old, he becomes sick and dies. This is cheating of the sadhu. The sadhu performs these pastimes to cheat materialistic persons. And they will think, ha ha, what's the use of doing devotion? Look what happened to him. So to cheat persons, to cover the confidentiality of devotion, sadhu also perform these pastimes of so-called giving up a body and going back to Godhead. But we should not be bewildered by these pastimes. And therefore all these things called Mohini Lila. As Mohini cheated the demigods, cheated the demons, and gave nectar to the demigods, these pastimes in Bhagavatam cheat the non-devotees and give nectar to the devotees. But even today, foolish brahmanas in Dwarka, they perform the funeral shroud of Krishna. Krishna died, they cremated his body. Fools. Krishna left it anyway, we drifted back to it. So Krishna arranged all this thing. Don't be bewildered. Bhagavan, he never takes birth, he never dies. He appears in his original spiritual form, and in that original spiritual form, he goes back to the spiritual world. But in order to cheat the non-devotees, Krishna arranged one pastime. One time Durvasa Rishi came to Dwarka. Then Durvasa was very hard to please. He would not eat for 2 or 3 days. In the middle of the night he would shout, I'm very hungry, give me sweetgrass. Give me potato chips. Give me lasagna, something. In the middle of the night he would wake up and ask for impossible things. And Krishna served him perfectly. One day Durvasa said, I want to see your city Dwarka. And Krishna immediately brought his chariot. And then Durvasa said, no, I want your wife Rukmini to pull the chariot. And Krishna immediately, yes, Maharaj, your wish is my command. He unyoked the horses, put Rukmini there. And Rukmini was pulling the chariot. Then Durvasa was faster, faster. Krishna was cracking the whip. Not on Rukmini. Even a horseman never beats a horse with a whip. Near the horse. Krishna cracking the whip, Rukmini pulling the horse, the chariot. Durvasa said, I'm very hungry. Give me sweet rice. Krishna really brought sweet rice. Durvasa got off the chariot, began running away. Krishna chased him. I'm very sorry, Maharaj, we could not serve you perfectly. Please forgive us our offences. Please forgive our offences. And Durvasa wept, oh Krishna, only you have no falsehood. No one else could have tolerated that. Only you could tolerate it because you have a spiritual form, therefore no material falsehood. So before that, when Durvasa ran away, Krishna pleased him. Then Durvasa said, put this sweet rice all over yourself and your wife. The remnants of Krishna immediately. And Durvasa started weeping. Oh Krishna, only you can do like this. Nobody else can serve like you can serve. But one fault is there. Where did Krishna forget not put the sweet rice? Soles of his feet. Who will think of that? That we said, oh Krishna, your body will be eternal, except the only place you may be finished is the soles of your feet. But these are all, understand, the Supreme Lord has a complete spiritual body. Therefore he is arranging his own departure by these type of activities. Therefore after instructing Uddhava, Krishna was sitting like this, with his foot like that. And that hunter who had made the arrow out of a piece of club, he saw the footprint of Krishna, pink, which looked like the face of a deer. And he shot his arrow through Krishna's foot. When the hunter heard the cry, he came. No cry, Krishna doesn't cry. When he came to see the dead deer, he saw the Supreme Lord in a four-armed form, with a massive effulgence coming from his body. The hunter began weeping. I'm very sorry. I didn't know. Then the personified weapons of Krishna, the club, the lotus flower, the disc, and the conch, took their personal forms. And in Krishna, his original spiritual body went back to the spiritual body. That is the disappearance of Sri Krishna. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran Ki Jai. What is this? This is cheated, Guru Maharaj says. Like a magic show. The magician may bewilder the whole audience, but the magician is never bewildered. And Vishwanath Chakravarti gives one example. There was a magician family, husband, wife, 2 sons. They did a dance show. They made a tightrope. The sons were playing the instruments. The husband was holding the tightrope. And the wife was dancing on the tightrope, spinning around with many pots on her head, this, that. The queen was very happy. She took off her necklace and gave to who? The woman. Immediately the husband, the 2 sons began arguing. Give that necklace to me. No, mother, give it to me. They snatched and began fighting for that necklace. One son took out his sword. The other one took out his sword. Give it to me, or I'll finish you. Give it to me, or I'll finish you. Fighting, they stabbed each other to death. And you could imagine that woman began weeping. My 2 sons killed. She took the sword, cut off her head. And the husband, my sons, my wife, he put the sword to his own heart. All the family was dead. And all the audience were completely devastated. The next day the king got a letter. Maharaj, you gave us a reward for the first act, but not for the second act. And the address was there on the back. The king, queen, and all the ministers came. They saw laughing. Who was there? The magician, his wife, and the 2 sons. This was our magic show. So in this magic show of Krishna's disappearance, was there a fight? Was everyone killed? Was Krishna shot by an arrow? Just magic. Just illusion. The magician and those who know the act, they are not illusion. They are not bewildered. But those who don't know, they are completely confused. So Krishna's disappearance was like that. And the final conclusion of the Bhagavatam, the disappearance of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj heard very happily 7 days and 7 nights. 18,500 verses of this Bhagavat Purana. And then Sukadeva Goswami asked, do you have any questions? Any doubts? Gurudev? By your mercy, I have no doubts at all. My ignorance is completely dispelled. Therefore, let that takshak, that snake bird or whatever else may come and bite me, I am not afraid of that at all. I am now situated in complete fearlessness. My mind is completely fixed on Radha Krishna by your mercy. You know, in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, Parikshit Maharaj was Gopi. By hearing 7 days and 7 nights, he achieved that Gopi Bhava. Then he still had a few hours to kill before the Takshak snake came. That time he spoke Brihad Bhagavatamrita to his mother, Uttara. She said, I could not understand the high philosophy of the Bhagavatam. Please explain to me in a way that a common person like myself could understand. Of course, Uttara is no common woman. She saw the Supreme Lord directly. But humility is the symptom of a Vaishnava. So Parikshit Maharaj again spoke the essence of Bhagavatam, that is Brihad Bhagavatamrita, compiled by Sri Sanatana Goswami. Then Parikshit Maharaj was waiting when that snake bird Takshak will come to finish him. Takshak, why he hated the Parikshit so much? Question. What is Takshak's history? His mother had been killed by Arjuna. Remember when Agni, the fire god, he came in the form of Brahman to Krishna Arjuna. Oh, I am very hungry. Please feed me. Then Krishna Arjuna promised, whatever you want to eat, we will give you. And he said, I am the fire god. I want to eat the Kandava forest. But every time I try to eat it by burning it down, in the rain zone, I cannot eat. Therefore I am suffering from digestion and very hungry. So Krishna and Arjuna, with Krishna driving the chariot and Arjuna behind, he enabled the Agni to burn the whole forest to ashes. As the forest was burning, Arjuna was killing all the animals, and they would enter the fire. At that time, Takshak's mother, she tried to escape and Arjuna cut her into pieces. And Takshak escaped through the side. For that reason, Takshak had such a hatred of the Pandavas. And who was the last remaining Pandav? Parikshit Maharaj. For that reason, Takshak hated him and wanted to finish. But he could not have done anything without the permission of Parikshit. Therefore, Parikshit had been cursed to die in 7 days and 7 nights by the snake bird Takshak. Parikshit was waiting. Takshak was running towards that place, Saptaha, to kill Parikshit. He was running, but then Takshak saw in the side lane one person was also running there. Who was that? Kasyap Rishi. Then Takshak was asking, dear sir, where are you going? Then Kasyap Rishi said, I know you are going to kill the king. I am going to save the king. Takshak said, how do you save him? Easy. You bite him and my mantra will bring him back to life. Takshak didn't believe it. You know how powerful my poison is? So to test Kasyap Rishi, Kaliya bit one banyan tree. That banyan tree immediately burned to ashes. Kasyap Rishi chanted his mantra. The tree came to life again. And Takshak became depressed. What's the use in killing someone? They come back to life again. Then the snake asked Kasyap, for what reason are you going to save the king? What benefit is there for you? The king is very wealthy. When I kill him, when I bring him back to life, the king will give me such a large donation. Then the snake said, listen, here's your donation now to not save the king. But that was already Kali Yuga. Krishna Swadharma Bhagavate Jnanadharma Dabi Saha. As soon as Krishna left for this earth planet, then Kali Yuga began. Therefore, for that reason, the Brahmanas became devoted by greed for wealth. Otherwise, previous yugas is not possible. Therefore, Takshak snake, he went there, but Parikshit was guarded on all sides. Therefore, Takshak disguised himself as an insect. Some Brahmanas were going there, they had one garland. And Takshak hid in the garland. He looked like a little weevil or something, hiding in the garland. When any ordinary person would go there, they would do so much checking. Any weapons, anything. But the Brahmanas, they did not check. The Brahmanas went to Parikshit Maharaj. It's almost finished. Okay. And the Brahmanas put that garland around the neck of Parikshit Maharaj. Actually, Takshak had no power to kill Parikshit because he had just heard the Srimad Bhagavatam. One who hears the Bhagavatam becomes immortal. If we go open on the Sabbath, just hearing some Bhagavad. Then Takshak Maharaj, he was hiding there in the garland. Parikshit felt very sad. The word of the Brahman should not be false. Also, I'm tired of this world. Some mood must also have been there. Therefore, that the word of the Brahman should not be false. I desire this insect may become Takshak and finish it. Otherwise, Takshak had no power to kill Parikshit at all. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj, he absorbed himself in meditation and went back to Godhead. He was already so-called dead before the snake bit him. Isn't it? Death is always the servant of the Vaishnava. Vaishnava needs, he may call, not need, he will not call. But the Parikshit in his original spiritual form went back to Goloka Vrindavan, and that insect in the flower garden became the huge form of Takshak. And he breathed on the king, bit the king's body was burned to ashes. High was the cry in all directions. But the Vaishnavas never cry because we know Vaishnavas never die. Thakur Bhaktivinoda, what did he say? Huh? He reasons ill who say Vaishnavas die. Huh? Because Vaishnavas live to die, while living live to spread the holy name around. Vaishnavas never die. They are eternal. They go to another place for a different seva, nothing else. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj ki Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj is the proof. One who hears Bhagavatam properly and follows his instructions will easily achieve all perfection. So now is time for Arati. So that we skip so much, half the 10th canto, 11th canto, or 12th canto. But maybe next time, see how we can try to finish. So there's one mantra. So we should all say 3 times, that finishes our Bhagavad Gita. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Lord Sri Hari. By chanting his holy name, destroys all sinful reactions, and simply bowing to him removes all material suffering. So Namo Sankirtanayasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Pranamo Duk Samanas Tadnamami Harim Param Namo Sankirtanayasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Namo Dukha Samana Tadnamami Harim Param Namo Sankirtanayasya Sarva Papa Pranasanam Namo Dukha Samana Tadnamami Harim Param. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki jai, Parikshit Maharaj ki jai, Sri Mahamuni Sukadev Goswami ki jai, Sri Guru Maharaj ki jai, Sri Radha Govinda Ji ki, Go Premanande. So we spoke this Bhagavad only one reason. Give some happiness, some remembrance of Sri Gurudev. So wherever he is, whatever he is doing, I pray he can mostly glance upon all Vaishnavas who came to hear this Srimad Bhagavatam, and even those Vaishnavas who did not come and hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that he may all bless us. Go Premanandi. Now is Auntie. Please no one go. Today is big feast. There was one marriage today. So please no one go. There's big feast afterwards. Hari Bol. Who's doing Auntie? sign? You have a mantra sign?
Hey buddy, you okay? I'll do that. Let's finish this and then I'll take you on my shoulders. Give me 2 minutes.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama